Okay.
Hi, who am I with?
My name is Chris Goodwin.
And what do you do?
So I raise and race and compete with racing pigeons.
What is that sport? I'm totally new, so it's kind of like you're speaking to a dummy, really. So what is racing? What is that?
So pigeon racing has been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. They were even used in some of the world wars to deliver messages. It was kind of like their text messaging, as they used pigeons to deliver messages. But the racing pigeon sport has been around for hundreds of years. So what you do is you get birds and you race them from your loft or from a one loft, and you compete against everybody else around the area that does it as well.
So how do they win? Like, who gets there fastest to their house, or what?
Yeah, so it varies on that as well. There's lots of different ways that you can win. You can have the best average speed compared to other lofts, or you can also have like the first pigeons in from the race. And it's usually for club racing, it's the fastest average speed for that race.
I was gonna ask, is it regulated by a club, or do you have to join a club in order to compete?
So there's several ways you can do it. The two main ways are club racing, and then the other way is one loft racing. So club racing is you get a geographical area, you have several guys in that area that race. You bring all your birds to one spot, you take them out and drop them off, and they come back to your loft.
Okay.
And then the one loft race is just one giant loft, and everybody sends their babies to that loft, and they raise them, and they race them out of that one loft. So they take them all out, drop them off, and they all come back to that one loft.
And that bird that you're holding, is it a keeper or setter, or what? You said it was 3 months old, right?
Yeah, so this is a young bird that hatched this year. I have several birds that are out racing this year, and this little guy is just one that I wanted to keep to fly around my own loft.
So what makes you choose a bird when you're choosing a bird for racing?
So really, if they have good results, that's what it comes down to.
So there's not like no features that look like longer legs or anything like that?
So there are a lot of features. There's a lot of thoughts on that. Some people will look at, for example, this bone that's under here. You want this bone nice and short. You want a pigeon whose tail doesn't bounce up and down and fan open when you do this. You want it to stay nice and tight and narrow. And then some people get into what the eyes look like. You know, if they have different features of the eyes, and some people will look for that. But you can have a pigeon that doesn't have any of those features still win races.
And you guys don't care about color or anything like that?
To some degree. So for example, if you have 50 birds that are out flying and only one of them is white, if a hawk is flying over, that's the one he's going to go for.
Oh, okay.
So you want to get pigeons that will blend in with the rest of the pack.
And does it matter gender, male or female, who better races?
There's some debate on that too. So some of the races are held in the spring, and the birds are a little bit older. And that's when they're starting to pair up and breed. And so if you have a hen at that race, it's common for that to just get eggy, have eggs or lay eggs. And when it's doing that, it's not going to race as good. So in some of those races, some people will say that the cocks do better. But in general, you can use either one.
I'm here because of food. You started your own food, so can you tell me a little bit of what you like to feed these birds?
Yeah, so food is really important for these guys. It's what makes them have the energy and the stamina and the athleticism to fly. Because we'll fly them out. Some of the races reach out to 600 miles. So, long distance. So you need to have the right kind of energy in them. And so the food is really important. I actually have partnered with a company called Christopher Feed, and they are producing the feed for us. And right now I've got, these are my little food bins. This is what I'm feeding them during the molt.
Yeah, my chickens are molting too. It looks pretty nice.
Yeah, so that's basically the race mix that we have mixed with a little bit of barley. And I throw in a little extra Austrian pea and safflower to help give them the fat and protein to produce the feathers. So yeah, we are going to be distributing 3 different kinds of feed. There's going to be a maintenance mix, there's going to be a race mix, and a breed mix.
Which one would you recommend for me? I'm not a pigeon breeder. I breed chickens, some miniature Azteca kikirikis, but I just want nice feathers. I want them like to molt nice and like just a mixer because I am feeding them high protein as a regular diet, but I just want to mix it in there. Which one would you recommend to me?
So for you, you can do all kind. I mean, any of them will work, but for the molt, you want a little higher fat and you want a little higher protein. So for what we have, the breeding mix is probably a little bit better. For your chickens.
So I'm noticing all these little birds in this box. What are these? Are these keepers or breeders? Or
Yep, these are all the ones that I've held over. They're flying out of my loft. I do it just for fun. I don't do the club racing because they're not club. But these guys just fly, and we can release them here in a little bit and can fly around. So there's a way to hold them. And what you do is you get them in your hands like this, put their chest against you, and you can hold their feet like that. Kind of traps them in there so they aren't able to get away. And that way you can kind of really get to feel what their features are. So I'll give this guy to you. It'll take two hands there, feisty.
Super pretty. I noticed they're kind of light or like they look pretty like heavier. They'll look like they're heavier.
That's one of the features you look for. Okay, so I don't know if you want to put the cameras down or whatever, but I'll show you so you can see. So some of the features are, one of the most important for me is that the feathers are really slick. Some feathers are dry and kind of scratchy and whatnot, but you want a really smooth, silky, soft feather. And then under here, like I was saying before, you look for this little bone that's right here. The shorter that is, the better. And then the stronger the back, the better. It doesn't flop up and down and spread out like that. I have one bird that does that really bad, but that's one of those. And then right here is the keel bone. You want this bone to be as long as possible. It ends for this guy right here. The longer that is, the more room there is for muscle. And then the gap between here and the vent bones should be as small as possible. And then there's two little bones that come together here, and we want those nice and tight together and strong, not soft. You can push on them and they shouldn't have much flex to them. And then the muscle itself, you want to be really thick and strong, not stiff or too soggy. And then you want them to be really light, because a big fat heavy pigeon can't fly 600 miles.
And that's why that food is important, huh?
Yeah. So fill this guy.
Oh yeah. Oh
He's
yeah. He's
got a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
He's big and strong, but he doesn't weigh anything.
That's nice. Do you have any? I know you said color don't matter, but any preference like in color, like you like?
You know, I like a lot of color. There's this guy up here.
Yeah, he's
a
nice.
silver bird.
Yeah.
I really like that color. I also like the really dark checks, which is this guy down here. Carbon bird. I like that color. But I really like a clean looking blue bar as well, which is this guy down here. In the corner, this corner. Nice clean looking blue bar bird.
Oh yeah.
So one of the most important things about this food for me is that it is a seed and grain that's in there versus the regular feed grain quality that you get in other feed. So in other words, this comes right from the farm where it was produced, and then it's taken and washed immediately and bagged. So it's not sitting in a silo for several years before we get it done. So it's really nutrient dense. And then we also put onto this a what's it called? Anise oil. So the anise oil helps a lot with digestion. So it gives them the ability to absorb the nutrients a lot better.
Okay. And so you're going to be having this for sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
How can they contact you?
So the website is christopherfeed.com. You can go on there and see and learn a little bit about it. Currently it's under construction, so it's not complete, but it's there. And then I have an add-on KSL, classifieds under pigeon.
And I also would like I'll keep you guys updated because I'm buying this food because I needed something a little bit extra for the molting my birds are going into, and just higher quality grains. So if this does, I'm pretty sure it will do the job because I see his pigeons that look pretty healthy, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. But
Yeah, let me know how it goes. Love to hear.
we guys ever do like a chicken program, or you guys sticking to the pigeons?
Just pigeons for now.
But it's the same thing, really, right? Because you can really, they're small.
Yeah,
birds
it's the
and
same
they-
exact
yeah,
grains that the chickens love,
yeah.
but it's just in ratios that are specific for pigeons.
Pigeons. Okay. All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah.